you're welcome to Relationship Workroom, where we help couples and individuals thrive in their relationships. I am Nike and this is Layo, and we are the hosts and family counselors and therapists here at the Relationship Workroom.
Yep, so nice to be here with you.
So today we're going to be talking about healing and guarding against infidelity. Yes. So I realized that a lot of people that go through infidelity or have cheating partners tend to have trust issues, and that's because of course they have been betrayed, and and they've gone through trauma, so today we just want to unpack and talk about infidelity, how it affects those involved, and how to guard against it. Layo, I want you to talk about what infidelity means. I mean, what is infidelity?
While you were talking, Nikki, something came in my mind. Let me tell you one of the most painful things about infidelity. When a partner has cheated on a person, it is not just about the trust that he breaks. In my experience with clients that have walked along these lines, one of the deepest and most hurtful things is how it makes you begin to doubt yourself. That, what did I miss? Where did I go wrong? For the woman, she's wondering, have I lost it in beauty? What exactly have I lost? For the man, infidelity for the man is shattering, because what it means to him is like, you mean my woman left me and went to meet another man? It's ego shattering. It is so
I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough, So to answer your question, what exactly is infidelity? Infidelity in our day has changed. When our parents were getting married, infidelity principally was a man, having sex with a woman who wasn't his wife, or vice versa, right? In this time, infidelity now has branches. For example, right, there is something such as emotional infidelity. Emotional infidelity is that space where you are conversing with, you're having deep emotional conversations with somebody who is not in your marriage. Meaning whether a man or a woman is talking to somebody outside their marriage and sharing very deep emotional things with them. So when someone says that my best friend, you have a best friend who is not your spouse, and you tell them deep things, right, then their tendency is that emotional infidelity is going on in that space. Okay, there's digital infidelity as well in our day and time, so where a person can, be interacting at such very deep levels, with somebody who is not in their marriage. And so infidelity principally is that space where you have gone beyond the boundaries in your relationship. A person has gone beyond the boundaries in their relationship, and they're taking sensitive, sacred values, right, that belong in their relationship. They're not taking them outside. And infidelity is a heartbreaker. It shatters. So that's
Oh, okay. So I know that some people don't recover from infidelity. And sometimes it takes almost a lifetime. I remember somebody asking, is it possible to love again after a spouse has cheated? The truth is that it is possible, but it will take a process of healing, and then being placed back into the society and believing again that you can actually love again. And
that thing you said now just brought back to my mind a client that I worked with some time ago. This woman said that at the time we began working with her, they had been married for 16 years. So she said that the biggest mistake that she made in her marriage was telling her husband that happened. The truth is that there are different dynamics with regards to how to deal with infidelity when it has happened. Okay. Professionally, there are certain instances where you can help a person heal, okay, with or without disclosure. there are instances where disclosure happens, but there are conditions necessary for disclosure to happen, right? There are also instances where you can help a person heal without disclosure. However, you want to ensure that this person is not going to have a relapse. So I said that because there are different dynamics with regards to how to deal with infidelity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this takes me to the issue of repair. You know, because where a spouse who has been cheated on, you know, it now knows. Now knows about the infidelity. How do we repair that relationship?
Okay.
Yes, you know, and then we'll talk about guarding against it, just briefly, you know.
Well, Nikki, you've asked a big question, because the truth is this: repair is not automatic.
It isn't.
It's not automatic, you know. We must acknowledge that the person has a choice to repair or to walk away. I mean, that is really important. That right there is really, really important, because, so let me even say this. If you're a Christian, understand that there are some conditions that the Bible gives, right?
Yeah.
Where a person can walk away from a marriage. Infidelity is one of such.
It's one of them. Adultery.
Adultery.
Actually,
So
yes.
when people discuss this concept, I've seen many people treat it in such a way that what they want the offended party to do is just heal and stay in the marriage, right? But I'm saying that there are instances where they may not be able to stay in the marriage. For example, if the partner is a chronic cheat,
yeah.
and if this is not the first time, not the second time, right? If they try to get help and this is a repeated situation, right? You want to ensure that you prioritize, as the offended partner, a person wants to ensure that they prioritize their mental health,
yes.
and that they're able to move forward.
Okay.
So I said that to say that it's not in every case of infidelity that repair is the automatic option.
So in the case where they want to stay.
Exactly. So I'm going to get there, you know. Now, in the event that the offended party has made a decision, right, to the victim of this infidelity has made a decision to stay.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of things are essential, right? And let me help you. It's a number of things, right? Before healing can begin, okay, you need to go through a process in your mind, because see, and this is why I love to say, I tell people, please don't try to deal with infidelity by yourself, right? Because the process requires help. Because the first thing you want to do is assessing the situation. Now, a couple of questions subsist that you want to ask and deal with. First of all, let's understand the fact that infidelity does not begin with the actual, penetration of another person who is not a person's spouse. Infidelity usually begins with emotional infidelity, right? Where, there's that friendly chat, there's that connection. So it begins first from emotional infidelity. So this is what emotional infidelity really means. It means that emotional value from one person is going to another person who is not in their marriage. So emotional infidelity really is that place where a person has value. So I'll give an example.
Okay.
If a husband was going through difficult times at work with his bosses, his subordinates, there were goals, and now the complexities in his mind, the complexities in his heart at that time, shockingly, those dynamics, they are valuable. You know why they're valuable? These are elements that if he brought them to the table with his wife, right, would become platforms for emotional intimacy. Because now there will be vulnerability. He's able to come home and say, hey, babe, this is what I'm going through. These are the things going on. But when a man then takes those things and what he chooses to do with them is to tell an ex-girlfriend, or he tells the secretary at the office, and what he's doing is that he's taking substantial value that should have become the basis for emotional connection in his marriage. He's taking those things and he's depositing them in places where what then begins to happen is, emotional connection is happening where it should not happen. And that bond can begin to form the bridge to a place where one day opportunity is created and there's
I agree with
sexual
you because,
interaction.
So infidelity, as you said, doesn't really start with penetration, sex. It begins with the fact that the other spouse may be lonely and just needs that connection. So now that the spouse is aware,
to repair,
how do you repair?
Good. What I'm trying to say is understand that the first place where things went wrong, right, was the fact that emotional connection began to be lost in that marriage. So first I talked about coming to the place where you've made a decision to forgive. Understand that forgiveness does not mean it's not going to hurt, right? Forgiveness here simply means that I'm not going to use my power in this situation against you. That I already know about this, that we have spoken about this, that I'm now in a place where I'm willing to try again, right? Means I'm willing to not use my power against you in this case, which means I already know that there's a way that you're feeling a certain type of way.
So not using my right.
I'm not going to use my right against you.
Okay.
So that's the first thing, forgiving. Okay, forgiving, and not just forgiving. Number two, bring back emotional intimacy from where it went to where it should be. Okay, take back emotional intimacy. So what I mean is this: the offending partner, the partner who has committed infidelity, right, needs to immediately begin to bring back emotional intimacy. What that means is this: you are disengaging from that relationship. You're making a commitment. You're disengaging from that relationship. Now you're being accountable, and you're beginning to work on repairing your relationship with your spouse. A third thing that is very important for the partner who committed infidelity to do is this: that partner has to understand that there's a difference between honesty and transparency. That partner must now exalt transparency above honesty. Let me explain. What does this mean? Honesty means that you are offering the truth on demand. So your partner says, "Hey, where are you?" And then you say, "Well, I'm hanging out with the boys." And that's the truth, right? That's honesty. You're saying the truth. Transparency is different. Transparency is offering the truth without demand. Offering the truth before demand.
Yes.
So, hey
baby.
I'm going to be hanging out with the boys right now. Or, hey, guess what? I saw that girl that I was with 2 months ago, and all that trouble happened. I saw her, and she was asking me to come have a drink with her. I just thought it was important to quickly let you know this so I don't get myself into a terrible situation. That's transparency. That's transparency right there. So if you were the cheating partner, you come to the terms with the fact that you've got to prioritize transparency above honesty. That's how your partner is then able to build trust in your relationship again, build trust in you again, right? And then the last one I'll just talk about quickly is you've got to go to therapy. We have a program called HEAL. HEAL is a 3-day powerful program where healing begins to happen in a private setting, where you can unravel the dynamics of what happened, how you even got to that place, and what's going on in your marriage and how your marriage can really begin to experience healing.
It's the Infidelity Recovery Program.
Right?
Yeah.
So yes.
While you were speaking, I just wanted to say that for the partner who has been offended, that is willing to work on that marriage, repair that marriage, that partner will also have to extend compassion, mercy to the other party, so that there is an opportunity for that party to actually, become
come to a place where they are able to begin to heal. Yes, and develop the appropriate values.
Exactly. And then, and then the other thing was that other party will need to reassure the offended one. But it's usually a process.
At the relationship workroom, we have seen not one, not two, not three, not four couples who have had a comeback from cases of infidelity.
Yes.
And let me just say this to you. If you are in that situation, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a marriage, and you have been going through the burdens and the pains of infidelity by yourself, I'd like to help you know that there is healing possible and available for you. You can make the transition, and guess what? Your marriage can go from that story of hurt and betrayal, and you can heal, and you guys can become a solid union that's achieving phenomenal dreams, phenomenal visions, and you can experience in the beginning.
Great. So this is where we come to the end of today's video. I want you to go ahead and hit that subscription button, and then the notification bell, so that you can always get our videos when we post them. Thank you so much for watching today. We appreciate you. Until next time, bye. Not just a moment, but moments that build a story worth telling.